Tragedy struck in New Orleans as a Texas man, potentially linked to ISIS, took the lives of 10 innocent people and counting. In this video, we will explore how events like this can point us to eternal truths through God's Word and offer hope in the midst of darkness.
Latest developments on today's deadly massacre in New Orleans. At least 10 people are dead after a man driving a truck plowed through a crowd celebrating New Year's Eve on Bourbon Street. More than 30 others are injured. Officials now calling it an act of terrorism.
The suspect, identified as Shamsud-din, a U.S. citizen from Texas. Investigators have found weapons and explosives, and they don't believe that he acted alone.
So we see that this guy had not so good intentions, and he plowed through a group of people that were on Bourbon Street at 3 in the morning. And so this is a video of the occurrence. You can see the white truck right here speed up. We also have some eyewitnesses.
You described that it was mass chaos. What did it sound like?
The sounds, I can't, the screams of those girls, I can't get them out of my head. I'm sorry. It was bad. I mean, it was just like this explosive impact, loud and like the crunching. Yeah. Just the sound of metal, and it almost sounded like gunshots too. I mean, it was just this loud, huge boom impact.
So they're classifying this so far as a terrorist attack. They found an ISIS flag in the man's car. And if I'm not mistaken, they found explosives in his car. Here's another eyewitness.
3:15, everybody's just chilling, we having a good time, music playing and all that. A truck, I didn't know it was a Ford F-150, I thought it was like a Yukon or something. A truck hits the corner and comes barreling through people, throwing people like a movie scene, like real life, throwing people into the air, they falling under the car, all of that. And a good friend of mine actually passed away from getting hit by it. And you know the little divots in the wall just like this? So this is what a lot of people jumped into to get away from the truck. But yeah, so after it gets past us, the guy, I didn't know it was a terrorist, but the guy ends up getting out and shooting people. Like he had ARs and bombs and all that, man. But the aftermath was really what got me, like bodies all up and down the street. Everybody screaming and hollering. You look down, you see somebody doing CPR. You look around, people crying on the floor.
Wow. These witnesses holding back tears. I can't even imagine being out with my friends and family and witnessing this or this happening to somebody so close to me. But here are some truths that I wanted to talk about regarding this situation. With truth number 1 being how short life really is. In James 4:14, it says, "Whereas you do not know what will happen tomorrow. For what is your life? It is even a vapor that appears for a little time and then vanishes away." I've had friends pass away since high school. And even in my life, the pursuit of succeeding in business. But the reality is that life is short. We're here for a short period of time. And you see in moments like this that life can end at any moment. These people were hanging out, celebrating New Year's at the wrong moment, at the wrong time, and their life suddenly ended. Truth number 2, the problem of evil. In Genesis 6:5, it says, "Then the Lord saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every intent of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually." We live in a fallen world. And in this specific verse, man was very wicked, constantly thinking about evil. There is a darkness problem on the earth today where things like this happen. Bad things happen all the time, from terrorist attack to injustice to the most unthinkable acts. Which leads us to the third truth that I wanted to bring up. Hope in Jesus Christ. Humanity has a dire need for redemption through Jesus. I love John 16:33. "These things I have spoken to you, that in me you may have peace. In the world you will have tribulation, But be of good cheer. I have overcome the world. While we face trials and tribulation here on the earth, the gospel offers peace and eternal hope to all who put their faith in Jesus. The Lord is close to the brokenhearted. He rescues those whose spirits are crushed. I've watched many times in my life when tragedy happens, people doubt God and they get mad at the Lord. But it's in these moments that we ought to lean on God because He's close to the brokenhearted and He wants to comfort us in our troubles. Now, I want to encourage everybody with this final truth. There is power in prayer. The Bible talks about praying for our enemies and loving our neighbor. In Matthew 5:44, it says, "But I say to you, love your enemies, bless those who curse you, do good to those who hate you, and pray for those who spitefully use you and persecute you." So in this time, I ask and I challenge you, pray for the city of New Orleans and the families of those who have been affected by this. And even pray for the one who caused this, because this is what God has called us to do. And it doesn't always make sense. Usually it never makes sense, but it's the counterculture gospel that He invites us all into. God so loved the world that He gave His one and only Son, that whoever believes in Him shall not perish, but have everlasting life. I pray that people come to know Jesus through this moment, through this tragedy, that more people than ever lean on Him and fall on our knees and pray that God have His way with our nation this year in 2025. God bless.